new bigger word. That's like mayonnaise. I'm sure that's the biggest word I know.
Hello, everybody, and welcome on into the BAT MLB Player Props with Derek Carty of EVAnalytics. I'm Thomas Viola from Unabated, and thank you so much for being with us here again on another wonderful Thursday. Derek, I am excited. We got a great slate today. We've got a bunch of props. This is the largest that we've had on the show so far this season. We were talking pre-show here about the fact not a lot of market movement right now, which is good for us. The numbers are staying where they are, and we've got plenty that we like. Derek, you there?
Sorry, you're cutting out a little bit. I hope that's only on my end. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you there.
You
I
there?
was just saying that we have plenty. Yep, I'm here. Is it on my end that we're having issues? That's not good.
I can't tell whose end it's on. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello?
I'm coming through fine for me. It's Ethan says it's on your end.
Oh, great. Okay, cool.
All right, I'll tell you what. Here, Derek, let's here hop off of Instagram. Just shut that. I'll shut that one off and hop off of that one, and let's see if that helps the internet here. Sorry, Instagram folks. Head on over to unabated.com.
Okay, I'm off of that feed. Is this any better?
All right. Yeah, you're coming through way better now. There we go. Can you hear me?
Okay, cool.
All right. Yeah, you're definitely coming through better.
Yeah, I got you. Sorry,
feed, internet wasn't handling it. All right.
Okay.
With that, now we can talk about some player props here, guys. Thanks for being with us here. Thanks for hanging out. Jack Connor says, let's do it. Matthew Sarr says, ain't no party like a Derek Carty party. David Locke throwing up the shamrocks here. Guys, thank you so much. Matthew says, Derek's computer working on overdrive with all the projections. And yep, Ethan says, it looks like it's fixed. Max saying the same thing. All right. Derek, we are good to go here. How are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing great. We have quite a few plays today, which I'm excited about. And yeah, I mean, the record so far this year has been not great, but we're dealing with a really small sample size, and across all outlets, it's been profitable. Historically, we've been profitable. So ready to get this show specifically into some profit. And I think we have a good shot of that today.
Yeah, and that's the same thing that we were dealing with NFL back in the beginning of the season last season. So we'll be back on it. Yahtzee pointing out BATX killing it the last week or so here. But so there we go. We're getting on track now. And some of that can be attributed to the fact it's the start. First off, it's the start of the season. Second off, Major League Baseball is so unique compared to some other sports because you have the fact that like we have verifiable evidence that they're tampering with the ball, that the ball is not the same ball that we're going to get the entire season. Like that's just that is happening, whether it's on purpose or not. They insist it's the same ball, but we can see the data for ourselves. Like this is stuff that has to be taken into account, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the BAT does what it can to account for that. You know, it takes in the data every day. It looks at how long it takes for kind of the league environment to stabilize, and it's constantly readjusting its estimation of what the league environment is. So this year, run environment's down, and the BAT is accounting for that.
Yeah, and we're getting to that point now. Like we're coming up on May. This is the point where like I'm really excited to be jumping in on more player props here. Like we have enough of a sample size now where we can start establishing a baseline and really starting to turn a profit on the props.
Absolutely. And after we get a few starts in the books for every pitcher, we start to get a sense of what kind of leash they're going to have. You know, we're kind of just guessing, especially for younger, more inexperienced guys earlier in the year, like how deep are they going to let these guys go into the game? So once we start getting into May, you know, we start being able to be a little bit more confident about that kind of thing, which helps too.
Exactly. But with that, I think it's time that we get into some props here and start talking about some of these guys, because we're going to be looking at some pitcher strikeout props to start off. And the first one we're going to be going to is Dakota Hudson. What are we looking for on Dakota here as we load up our bat projections in the Unabated prop simulator?
We are looking at the under on Dakota Hudson, under 2.5 strikeouts. The Bet365 feed isn't working, but if you go over there, they do have you can see it, right?
Yep.
Can you see my screen?
Bet365. Oh, here you go. Over on your screen now.
Cool. Yep. All right. So on my screen, they have plus 120. So that is going to be the best line out there, but other books have, we'll pop back to the simulator, DK plus 110. I think is going to be your next best. MGM, also the same line. Hudson is, I mean, we're not going to, I'm not going to mince words here. Hudson's a bad pitcher, really low strikeout guy, pitching in Coors Field, which suppresses strikeouts because of the altitude, pitching against a very low strikeout San Diego offense. The bat's projecting 2.17 here, and we're getting under 2.5 at plus 110 or plus 120, which is really good value. Obviously 2.5 is not a high bar to clear. Like, it's a very low line, but everything's working against him here. And the projection shows value.
Yeah. And hey, that's what we're looking for here. We're looking for value in the numbers. We're looking for plays where the pricing is off from what it should be. And we've got plenty of value here on this one, 32% edge. Obviously, when we're talking about an edge that big, we're talking more about the directionality of it rather than the hardcore mathematics, simply due to the fact that it is a projection. It's our best guess. It's a great guess, but you really want to view these edges as more of directionally correct rather than, oh, we have a whopping real 32% edge here.
Right. Exactly.
We just like to throw that out there. All right. Next up here, Will Brown says got plus 130. Looking at the Will Brown says he got it this morning looking at the BATX number. So there we go. The next guy that we got up here, we got Peralta, Freddie Peralta. I've been watching a lot of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, hence the Jake Peralta gif on my tweet this morning. I got him on the mind, but we're going over a very large strikeout total here at 7.5.
Yeah, over 7.5 plus 130 at MGM is going to be our best line. I think FanDuel had a 6.5. Maybe that's gone now. No, they're up to 7.5 too now.
Yeah.
The raw value isn't showing as high as the other one. But I like this one. Freddie Peralta, I think, is a guy. He's a guy that the bat really liked a lot coming into this year, and he's just been fantastic. His stuff has actually been even better than it was last year, which is not something the bat fully incorporates yet. So I think the projection is actually a little bit low compared to what it should be. But we're getting, right around at the line for plus 130 is, I think, really nice. He's facing a Pittsburgh team that tends to strike out a good amount. And yeah, so I like Peralta a lot here today.
We like it, and you're right. Pittsburgh, they have some guys. They have some heavy hitters that like to swing for the fences, and they've definitely cooled off a lot since the start of the season, which I feel like happens a lot with the Pirates.
Yeah, definitely. Last year they got off to that great start too.
Yeah, I was remembering that a couple of my buddies had a bet on dinner at a very, very expensive sushi place here in Vegas. And my one buddy, it was a Pirates fan. The bet was whether or not they would make the playoffs. My buddy coasted to his dinner on that one, much to the chagrin of his Pirates fan friend. Next up here, let's head into the hit market, though. And we're going to be looking at Enrique Hernandez here. Where are we going to be going on Kike?
Yep, we are looking at Kike under hits. Again, if you go over to Bet365, let me share this. The best line is there, plus 145. But if we pop back over to the simulator, plus 135 at DK is still showing, very good value. Kike is a guy who he's kind of an average hitter. He's not bad, but he's not great. And he's facing a pretty good pitcher in Mackenzie Gore. And he has a 50% pinch hit risk, according to the bat. This is a guy that the Dodgers, they like to play the matchups. When the starter comes out of the game, there's a good chance that Kike is going to be gone, especially because the Nationals don't have a single left-handed left-handed pitcher in the entire bullpen. So like he's going to face the lefty to start the game, but unless they call someone up between now and game time, I guess, there's zero chance that there's going to be a lefty in once the bullpen hits. There's going to be a righty, and there's a good chance that Kike comes out of the game at that point. So we're hoping for kind of 2 at-bats here. We're hoping that Gore can get him out a couple times, and then if we're lucky, he's done, and we get a nice easy early cash for him.
Yeah, looking like we got plus 140 at BetMGM and Fanatics right in here. Thanks, shout out to Yahtzee for that one. That is great if we can get it. It's a great example of knowing the situation and how that can be great for picking up some of these extra props here. Because rather than going to 4 at bats and hoping you don't get a hit or something like that, knowing that he could very well be pulled in this game once Gore is out of the lineup, once Gore is done on the mound, that's a big deal.
Yeah, no, I mean, volume isn't something that people think about a lot of times with baseball. Like it's thought about a lot more with football. Oh, how many targets is this guy going to get? How many minutes is this guy going to get in the NBA? But volume in baseball matters a lot too. It's just not as noticeable in these type of lines. But if you can account for it, you can find real value.
Yeah, and that's an incredibly important thing to think about, because especially in a game like this, like you're only going to get 3 to 4 plate appearances. You're only going to get 3 to 4 chances to do anything. And so when you're cutting that down even further, unders are looking great.
Yeah. I mean, if a guy normally gets 4 at bats and he gets pinch hit 4 and he only gets 3, I mean, cutting your volume down by 25% is massive.
Yeah.
In the short term, anything can happen. He can get a hit in his first at bat, but in the long run, if you can find those kind of edges, it's really going to add up.
Yeah, and that's what you want to find. Those are the things that you want to be attacking, especially because the books probably aren't pricing it correctly because it's such a speculative thing, and there are so many players in so many games.
Yeah, they do not price it correctly.
Yeah. Well, there we go. We're giving out some good alpha here on the show today. Now, this next guy up here, we're going to be starting to head into the walk category. So we're going to head over to EVAnalytics now, Derek, for these next couple of guys. But we've got Ryan Nota coming up next here. Where are you looking with Ryan?
Yep, we are looking at over 0.5 walks for Ryan Nota today. Plus 230 at DK is the best line. MGM also has it plus 225. This isn't a market that a lot of books have. I wish more would add it. If you have other books that that have it, definitely let me know. I'd be very curious. But this is a spot where lefty on lefty against Nestor Cortez is not a great spot. But if he does happen to start lefty on lefty, he tends to get pinch hit for a lot less, because if you're already starting against the left-hander, why are you going to get pulled for a lefty reliever? So this could void if he's not in the lineup. But if he is in the lineup, I like it. The pinch hit risk basically disappears. He's a guy who takes a lot of walks to begin with. Cortez hasn't issued many walks this year, but there is some regression coming in the other direction for him. So at this number, I like it quite a bit. Nota projects to draw a walk. Let me get a percentage here. About 45% of the time. So more likely to lose than win, but plus 230 on 40% is awesome.
And again, it goes a little bit into plate appearances here. If he's going to walk 40% of the time and he's going to get 3 to 4 appearances, that doesn't seem like a bad number to me.
He's not going to walk 40% of the time given his plate appearance, not per plate appearance. It's not 40% per plate appearance. It's more like, I don't know, 10 or 15%. But
okay. I gotcha. Got it. Okay, yeah. I see where you're going with here.
If you were playing the whole game out a whole bunch of times, it would hit about 40%.
Gotcha. Okay. So if it's going to hit about 40% and you're talking about a plus 230 line, that is good value. You can see the insane value there. Okay. There we go. Thank you for clarifying that for me and for everyone there. Let's stick with the walks here, because we're going to be going to Edouard Julien. And I hope I didn't butcher that name too badly. Baseball is not my if you can't tell, baseball is not my go-to sport. I'm not as tapped in on the on the player pronunciations, and there's a lot of South American and Hispanic names.
Yeah, and a lot of times we tend to lean towards kind of the less well-known players anyway, because that's where the value is going to be. So Julian here, we're going under walks on him, under 0.5 walks, plus 170 at DK. You can see there's a big gap in the projections implied versus actual. This one projects to win about 50-50. So plus, this number here at 50-50 is really good. Julian's a guy who does tend to get pinch hit for a good amount, has about a 30% chance of a pinch hit here. He is a guy who can draw walks, like he is patient, and the matchup is pretty good against Mike Soroka. But between the pinch hit risk rate and the guy in the bullpen that I'm really looking for today that I'm hoping comes in is Tanner Banks. Tanner Banks is a lefty. Tanner Banks is a long man. And Tanner Banks is the guy who has who's been on the most rest, basically. So like it seems like a day that Tanner Banks is going to come in and throw a few innings, and hopefully Julian doesn't draw a walk from Soroka, goes lefty on lefty in the bullpen and then comes out of the game. We see Banks in the fourth or fifth inning, and that would be fantastic. Julian, even though he walks, like he's only gone over this 34% of the time this year. And so if the bat's projecting close to 50% to go over, like Soroka, yeah, he's bad, but the line is it's just out of whack. So this is a good one for value.
David Locke and Yahtzee both on it today. Locke says it's down to plus 150 at DraftKings, but Yahtzee says plus 155 at MGM. So the market is definitely moving not in our favor, but in agreement with us.
In the direction that, which is what we'd expect.
Yeah. Now, next up here, and one more. And by the way, guys, feel free to throw your props in as well. We'll answer some of them as we get to the tail end of the show here, because we have one more. We have one more on our end to talk about, and that is Max Schumann. We're going to be going into his hits, runs, and we're going to be going into his combo here: hits, runs, and RBIs.
Yeah, hits, runs, RBIs. We're going under 0.5. Hits, runs, RBIs, plus 115 at Betway is the best line, but it is available at a few other books. You can see 30% gap between implied projection and the bats projection. This is a guy who, he's really, really not good. If you look at his Fangraphs page, he projects for like a 270 WOBA. He's hitting, I think, 100 exactly on the year, and his projected batting averages aren't even a whole lot better than that. He hits towards the bottom of the order. He's facing a pretty good pitcher in Esther Cortez. He has a 59% pinch hit risk rate today. So especially at the bottom of the lineup with a high pinch hit risk, you'd love to see that. So hopefully with him, it's another guy that, we're only sweating out 2 or 3 at bats and then he's done.
Yeah, that's woof. Those are not good stats for the season. I mean, betting on this is the other thing, though. Betting on players to be bad is a really great way to make money, because the old saying, like, public bets overs, sharps bet unders. It's easier to bet on things not to happen than to bet on things to happen. And when you have people who are bad, like, it's a lot easier for them to not do well, especially in a game like baseball.
Exactly. There's a lot of outs here, because he can win this just by pure being bad. He can win this by not getting enough plate appearances because he gets pinch hit for. Like, it's not as fun as betting, Aaron Judge to hit a home run or whatever, but it is a lot more profitable.
Yeah. And the thing with betting like home runs, and I know that you're just I know you're not making a serious point about it, but the serious point about home runs is just they're almost always going to be terribly priced. Like if Mookie Betts is 3-1 to hit a home run, they're saying he's going to hit almost one in every 3 games. And
it's not true.
Yeah. Like the rate that he's going to hit one is much more like 4.5 or something like that.
Yeah.
Like just using his stats. You're going to be like, it's such a high variance market, and you're almost never getting the value that you need in order to make it happen, which is why you won't see us really talking about too many home runs on this show. But let's talk about some other players here. Let's get some other props from the audience, guys. Throw your picks in the chat, like Mayo did, who's looking at under 5.5 Ks on McKenzie at plus money. What are we seeing with McKenzie here? And let me know if you want me to switch over to my end, but it looks like you got things under control there.
No, I got it. So Gore here. Looks like there's a little value at plus 114 at FanDuel.
Yeah.
The bet's projecting 5.5, which is about in line with it. But when you consider distributions, that is going to favor the under a little bit. I would guess this is probably like a 55 to 60% winner, which at plus 114 is fine. There's some value. Probably not enough for me to want to bet, but he is facing obviously a really good Dodgers team. They're not especially strikeout heavy. So there's a chance he gets knocked around, pulled early. The Dodgers just don't care because they're the Dodgers. There's definitely ways the under wins here. I think there's a little value on that.
What about Tristan McKenzie? That might be what he meant.
Oh, sorry. I thought I saw someone in chat mention Gore. Maybe I just jumped the gun. All right.
I think we were talking about Mackenzie Gore earlier.
Tristan McKenzie. All right. So this one's showing some value. It's basically the same setup where, a little bit under, probably projects to win about 60% of the time, close to even money. The one thing I will mention with Tristan McKenzie is that this projection is probably too high for whatever reason. No idea why. The Cleveland Guardians are letting Tristan McKenzie pitch with a UCL injury. He's just been terrible. He's clearly injured. They've said he's injured. I don't know why he's pitching right now. But the bat doesn't know that he's pitching with a UCL injury because guys rarely do that. And so it's probable, I would say, that the bat is actually overestimating him. So if this says it's an 11% value, it's probably higher than that. So this is one where at 11%, maybe I'm not really thinking about betting it, but given this specific case, I can definitely see why you would.
Yeah, I like there could be some additional hidden value on that one. And plus with a UCL injury, he might get yanked early too.
I mean, it's very possible, yeah, that he just one of these starts just gets injured and he's done for the year. Like, for whatever reason, it reaches the point where he just can't do it anymore. So it's a weird situation, but that's my take on it.
Especially with the pitch clock. Like the pitcher's arms are falling off. That's a thing that's happening.
Yes, it is.
Yep. Let's see here. Ryan Moran says Eduardo Julian under 5.5 walks at plus 155. I mean, I'm not sure if you want us to talk about that one or if you were just following up on what we said, because that is already one of the plays that we have we talked about as one of the ones that Derek liked. So yes,
and we got that at a better number, but plus 155 is still really good value. I'm more than happy to take it there.
Yeah. So there we go on that one. Meanwhile, here RW fan 23 says Verlander under on K's. How about outs? So let's look at Justin Verlander there.
Let's take a look at Verlander here.
Yeah.
This is one where it looks like books are split between 6.5s and 5.5s, but neither one is showing much value.
Yeah.
The bat's kind of right in between, and yeah, so.
Geez, look at that price discrepancy there. It's really something that we have an under 5.5, but it's so much more. It's plus 126 versus if you look at the pinnacle price on the 6.5, it's minus 187.
Yeah, that's pretty wild, actually.
Yeah.
So with the projection in between and the plus money on the wrong sides, there's not much doing here.
Yeah. So no, not really fans of Verlander under on K's there, RW fan. And by the way, to everybody watching us over on the Unabated YouTube channel, thank you so much for being with us. But I do want to remind you guys, head on over to Unabated Live. That's where we want to be airing these shows moving forward here. Thank you to everyone who is watching us over on the Unabated Live channel as well. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a show. But guys, still on the Unabated one, make sure you go and like the Unabated Live channel as well so you don't miss a minute. Just wanted to make sure we were picking up any of the stragglers there. Dakuchi Betts wants to know, what is the best way to play Tatis today?
I assume this is Fernando Tatis.
Yes.
In Coors. I mean, it's obviously a great matchup. He's in Coors. He's against Hudson, who we talked about being not good. Let me look at Tatis bets. So the bet doesn't see a lot of value on him. It sees most of his lines being fair, which a lot of times with stars is kind of the case. The only thing it sees a little bit of value on is him drawing a walk at plus 210, but that it's only showing single digit ROI. So I probably am not betting that myself.
Yeah. Maybe not a Tatis day, and that is the problem with betting on stars sometimes. Like it's tougher to find the value in them, especially if you want to bet on them to do something like you'd want to do at Coors Field.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yahtzee wants to know about Luis Castillo, K's. What are we looking at in the Castillo strikeouts market here? Should be around 5.5.
Yeah, we can pull him up. Oh, this is one of these guys. Hold on one second. Let me plug the projection in. Guys that have like accents on their names and stuff sometimes don't map properly. I think so. I know the tech team is working on fixing that. Let me see. So the projection is 5.41.
Not guessing we're going to find a lot of value here.
So yeah, basically no value. It's right in line with the market.
Sorry, Yahtzee. That is not Yahtzee on that one. But hey, we got plenty of others here that we've got value on. We've got plenty of others that we've been looking at. Merrill SD. So I'm guessing he's on San Diego, and that's not his last name. Merrill SD over 1.5 hits and bases.
We can take a look at that. We'll have to go to EV for that. That's it's a young rookie. Wrong. Hold on one second. I lost my screen. Hold on.
All good. While you do that, I'll look at his.
Okay. So, what are the markets we're looking at?
We can look at hits and we can look at bases.
Hits and bases. Okay, so it'll probably be like the same line then.
We can actually look at those on. Yeah, we can actually look at those on Unabated. But yeah.
Oh, we can. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I thought it was like hits, runs, RBIs. I thought I saw a weird market on there.
Yeah, all good though because
we'll look at here then.
It's another one of those players that the projection hasn't come in, so feel free to stay on the EVA page.
Okay, I'll plug it in. 1.25, and we're getting no value. There's 0.5s, there's 1.5s. It's another one where it's in between, and the odds are not good enough to take either.
Yeah, just not finding value on that one today. But hey, again, we've got plenty more out there that we found value there. Matthew Sarr has a question, not a player prop, but a team prop. If you've got any answers on this, he's looking at the Reds team total over 2.5.
Let me see if I can find team totals. I haven't looked at any of them today. Team total. So yeah, we can pop over here to. There is a game sheet on EVAnalytics where you can see lines, game totals, team totals. You're going to find a lot less value on those because the lines are going to be more efficient. It looks like there is some small value on the over Reds line today, over 2.5 minus 145. It looks like it projects to win about 61% of the time. So some marginal value on that.
All right, some marginal value there. We don't necessarily hate that. Now we've got some more questions coming in for Ryan Moran says he's been using ATS on the BATX and has been betting first 5 run line and team totals. He has the Red Sox at plus 135. Red Sox minus a half run at plus 135. Showing some slight value there. Over on the unabated screen, I'm not seeing as much value on that one, but I am seeing the Red Sox not as the favorite there. I'm seeing them as an underdog. So he's looking at an alt spread here. So he might be finding some value on that. I will say, finding some big value on Yankees over at Bet Rivers. Yankees minus a half run, minus 136. We got a 3% edge there. If I try and move us on the screen so you can see it, there we go. Now you can see it. We got some edge on that one. So that's one to watch out for there. What do you think? What do you think on the Red Sox there?
I haven't had enough chance to look into the market to really know.
Yeah. Connor Frazier says the McKenzie angle worked into the first 5 line, maybe.
That could be.
Yeah. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, throw any more questions that you have. We'll give you a couple more minutes here. We've been going at it for a nice half an hour. We've had a fantastic 500 or so viewers. Thank you guys so much for being with us. We appreciate it. Make sure you tell your friends. And remember, if you want to check out the BATX from EVAnalytics with the Unabated Prop Simulator, it is super, super duper easy. All you have to do is go to the BATX on our drop-down menu for projections here. Click on it. And then you can go right there, purchase the BATX, and you'll be able to sync your accounts. It takes 2 seconds. You just hit authorize here. You'll be able to link them up, and you'll be able to get all of the BATX projections loaded straight into the Unabated Prop Simulator so that you can sim them out and start finding some value on the board for yourself. Thank you so much for being with us here. Remember, you can also check out Derek Carty on Twitter at Derek Carty. You can also check the description of this video. If you want to sign up for a one-on-one demo, talk through the prop screen, the unabated odds screen that we showed off a little bit today, and more, it'll most likely be me sitting down with you for a one-on-one chat to answer any of your questions, to get you all set up, all going with the unabated screen. And I'll even throw in a free 5-day trial if you sit down with me for one of those demos. So use the link in the bio to sign up for one of those. Looking forward to talking with you there. And in the meantime, everybody, best of luck. Let's have a good day, Derek. Best of luck to you. Best of luck to the BATX. I'm excited to go and bet some of these lines myself. But for now, I think it's time that we head out. It has been a pleasure, everybody. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place, Thursday, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern time on the Unabated Live channel. Remember, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And in the meantime, best of luck. And let's cash some tickets. We'll see you next week, everybody. Have a good one.